All right, buckle up, because today we are tumbling headfirst into Alice's Adventures in Wonderland.
Down the rabbit hole we go.
Exactly. We've got the Project Gutenberg ebook ready to go, and...
It's so much more than just a children's story.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, think about it. Disney movies, philosophical debates, artwork.
It's wild how this story has stuck with us, right, for like over a century.
Absolutely. Alice's journey has captivated generation after generation.
So ready to explore the themes, the characters?
Oh, yeah. Unpack what makes this story so fascinating.
Let's do it. What's so interesting to me is how Alice isn't just for kids.
Oh, not at all. I mean, it touches on identity, the whole logic versus absurdity thing.
And like even the power of our subconscious.
Right. So like Lewis Carroll created this world where rules just don't apply.
Like he's saying question everything.
Exactly. Like, what do we even know about what's real anyway?
Right. So we start with down the rabbit hole. Alice is bored, sitting with her sister.
Classic start to an adventure.
Then, bam, white rabbit, waistcoat, pocket watch.
Wait, hold on, a rabbit with a watch.
Yeah. And he's freaking out, late for something important, who knows what.
Okay, you know right then and there that things are about to get weird.
Oh, yeah, it's a sign for sure.
And Alice doesn't even hesitate. She just follows him.
Like, wouldn't you?
Probably. That's what makes her so relatable.
Right. We're all drawn to something unusual.
That unexpected break from the everyday.
And then, boom, down the rabbit hole.
One decision, and her whole world changes.
It's crazy. And then there's this long fall. She's falling down this well.
Oh, that well. It's described as almost dreamy.
Yeah, with cupboards and books and maps.
She even finds an empty marmalade jar. Can you imagine?
I would be freaking out not thinking about marmalade.
Right. But that's Wonderland for you.
It's all so surreal, almost like a dream.
And Alice is constantly wondering, is this real? Did I change overnight?
It blurs the lines, what's real and what's imagined.
And that's what makes it so wonderfully strange.
Absolutely. It's hilarious how she's worried about falling downstairs at home.
Yeah, she's like, everyone would think I'm so brave.
And she's trying to calculate how far she's fallen. In a bottomless well.
It's like, come on, Alice, let go of the logic.
But that's part of her charm, right?
Absolutely. She's so innocent, trying to make sense of it all.
Even when it's totally bonkers.
That's why we love her. She keeps that wonder, that logic.
Right, even when nothing makes sense.
It's inspiring in a way.
Okay, so she lands in this hall with locked doors.
Oh, yeah. Classic Alice.
And finds this teeny tiny golden key.
And a bottle that says, drink me.
Right. And being Alice, she checks for a poison label.
Gotta be careful.
Where she shrinks down to like 10 inches tall.
See? Transformation.
It happens all the time in Wonderland, right?
Yeah, her size is always changing. It's like a metaphor for growing up.
Figuring out where you fit in.
Exactly. And each change is a new challenge. She's constantly adapting.
Makes you think about how we handle change in our own lives.
For sure.
Yeah.
Are we shrinking back or are we growing?
Good question. So then she finds a cake, eat me, and boom.
Giant Alice.
9 feet tall, stuck in the hall.
And then the waterworks start.
Oh yeah, the pool of tears.
You can really see how her emotions literally shape Wonderland.
It's amazing.
Carol was brilliant, using physical changes to show Alice's inner world.
It's like those awkward growing pains we all go through.
Trying to find the right size for ourselves.
And the world keeps telling you to change.
Exactly, but it's all part of the journey.
Then it gets even weirder. The white rabbit comes back.
Of course he does.
And mistakes Alice for his housemaid, Marianne.
Like, what?
I know, right? He sends her off to get his gloves and fan.
Oh, that poor girl. Talk about feeling lost.
It's more than just being in a strange place. It's losing yourself.
Have you ever felt like you're pretending to be someone you're not?
Oh, all the time.
Wonderland captures that feeling perfectly.
Totally. So she's in the white rabbit's house, drinks another potion, grows too big again.
Stuck again?
Yep. Then outside, she meets all these animals.
Soaked from her tears, of course.
Naturally. And that's where we get the caucus race.
What?
A race with no rules. Everyone wins.
Okay, that sounds about right for Wonderland.
It's Carol making fun of how serious we take things, right?
You think about all the pointless stuff we do just because that's how it's always been done.
Wow, yeah. Alice is trying to make sense of it all.
But also clinging to some kind of order.
Yeah, she gives out comfits as prizes like it's a normal race.
It's that tension between wanting order and the chaos of Wonderland.
She's trying to force logic on a place that runs on imagination.
In a way, she's learning to let go.
To just go with the flow, embrace the weirdness.
Exactly. And, maybe that's something we could all learn from.
I think so. After the caucus race, everyone's wet again, and the mouse offers to tell a story.
Oh, the mouse.
But Alice gets distracted by his tail.
Wait, literally his tail.
Yeah. She thinks he means his actual tail, not a story.
Oh, Alice.
Oh.
Classic misinterpretation.
Carol loved playing with words like that.
Oh, yeah, he was a master at it.
It shows how easily we misunderstand each other.
And how words can really shape our understanding of things.
So true. Alice just wanted to help. She even offers to undo a knot.
A knot.
She thinks it's part of the story, but it just makes things worse.
It's like a reminder to sometimes just listen.
Instead of trying to fix everything.
Sometimes the best thing to do is just observe.
Yeah, good life advice. So the mouse storms off, and Alice feels all alone.
The other animals scatter too, right?
Yeah, they're scared of her talking about Dinah the cat.
Oh, Dinah.
Then she bumps into another strange character, the caterpillar.
Now, he's an interesting one.
He's like a turning point in the story.
The caterpillar really makes Alice think about who she is.
And what she wants.
His questions are so cryptic.
He forces her to confront her own identity crisis.
And things are about to get even weirder from here.
I can't wait to hear more.
So picture this. Alice face to face with the caterpillar,
Okay, I'm picturing it.
perched on his giant mushroom.
Of course, a giant mushroom makes sense.
And he just looks at her and asks, "Who are you?"
Whoa, that's a heavy question.
Right. And for once, Alice doesn't have an answer.
After all that's happened, she's lost herself a bit.
Exactly. All these changes, physically, emotionally.
She doesn't even know who she is anymore.
It's a classic identity crisis. We've all been there.
Yeah, especially when we're young trying to figure things out.
Exactly. And you know, the caterpillar, he might seem grumpy,
Oh yeah, he's not exactly the warm and fuzzy type.
but in a way, he's guiding Alice.
Like a mentor.
Sort of. He introduces this idea of using the mushroom.
To change her size. Right.
Exactly. He's giving her control in this chaotic world.
It's like he's saying, you have the power, but you need to know yourself. Wow, that's deep.
Right? It's all about self-discovery.
So, Alice nibbles the mushroom, carefully changes her size.
Until she's just the right size to enter that beautiful garden.
The one she's been wanting to reach.
Yes. And that garden, that's where things get really wild.
Oh, I bet. She's already seen talking rabbits and falling down wells.
But the garden is where logic goes out the window completely.
So, what, talking flowers and singing teapots?
Pretty much. It's designed to challenge how we see the world.
To embrace the absurd.
Exactly. Anything is possible in this garden.
Okay, I am definitely intrigued now.
So her first stop is a croquet game.
Of course it is, why not?
But not just any croquet game. This is the Queen of Hearts game.
Oh, I've heard things about the queen.
The balls are live hedgehogs.
Oh, yeah.
The mallets are flamingos. The arches are soldiers bent over.
Okay, this is officially the weirdest croquet game ever.
Carol is satirizing Victorian society here.
All those rules, hierarchies.
It's all played out in this ridiculous game.
I can't even imagine trying to play with a flamingo.
Right. They're constantly turning their heads.
And the hedgehogs, they'd probably keep running off.
It would be complete chaos.
Which is kind of the point, right?
Exactly. Wonderland thrives on chaos.
It shows how pointless it is to impose order on a place like this.
Sometimes you just have to surrender to the madness.
And then there's the Queen of Hearts herself.
Oh, yes.
Off with their heads.
Right.
She's not exactly known for her patience.
She gets angry so easily, threatens everyone.
He's like that scary authority figure in our nightmares.
The fear of punishment, the randomness of power.
Exactly. It adds this underlying tension to the story.
Even in Wonderland, actions have consequences.
No matter how absurd those consequences might be.
But you know what's interesting?
What's that?
Alice stands up to her.
She does.
Yeah, she's scared at first, but she finds her voice.
That's a big moment for her.
She refuses to be intimidated, calls the queen out on her nonsense.
Alice is growing up right before our eyes.
She's not that passive little girl anymore,
She's learning to assert herself, to question authority,
even when it's dangerous.
which takes a lot of courage.
Absolutely. And speaking of interesting characters.
Are we talking about the Cheshire Cat?
Oh, yes, the Cheshire Cat, that mischievous grin.
And his cryptic pronouncements. He appears and disappears whenever he wants. And his advice is never straightforward.
More like riddles wrapped in enigmas.
Right. The Cheshire Cat represents the uncertainty of Wonderland.
That feeling that nothing is quite as it seems.
And that grin, even after he's gone.
It's like a reminder that truth is subjective.
It depends on how you look at things. He's the one who tells Alice everyone's mad, including her.
Oh, yeah, that's a classic line.
It makes you wonder, what does mad even mean?
Is it just a different way of seeing things?
Is Alice going mad? Or is she breaking free from logic?
Carol doesn't give us the answers.
He wants us to think for ourselves.
To question our own perceptions of reality.
And then the Cheshire Cat sends Alice to the Mad Hatter.
Ah, the Mad Hatter, one of my favorites.
And the March Hare, their never-ending tea party.
Time stands still. Conversations make no sense.
It's another example of Wonderland defying logic.
But it's also a satire of social conventions.
All those meaningless rituals we follow blindly.
Stuck in a loop, just like the Hatter and the Hare.
And then there's the riddle, why is a raven like a writing desk?
The most famous riddle with no answer.
It emphasizes the absurdity of looking for logic in Wonderland.
It's about enjoying the nonsense, letting go of the need for meaning.
Sometimes it's okay to just laugh at the absurdity of it all.
Exactly. Embrace the weirdness, have fun with it.
I love how Alice, even though she's frustrated,
Oh, she definitely gets frustrated with the Hatter.
she still tries to understand him, to engage with his world,
That shows her curiosity, her willingness to learn.
even from the craziest characters.
She's a true explorer at heart.
So after the tea party, she stumbles upon a trial,
The trial of the Knave of Hearts.
accused of stealing the Queen's tarts.
Another classic scene full of satire.
It's like a parody of the legal system.
With confusing rules, nonsensical evidence.
And of course, the Queen's constant threats.
Off with his head!
Carol is poking fun at how pompous the courts can be.
Highlighting the potential for injustice and absurdity.
But Alice, she starts to find her voice again. Yeah. She challenges the king, defends the knave.
He's not just watching anymore.
She's participating, taking action.
She's speaking truth to power, even if it's risky.
Alice's transformation is incredible.
From that bored girl to this strong, independent young woman.
It's amazing how much she's grown.
That's the power of Wonderland. It forces you to confront yourself.
To face your fears, challenge your beliefs.
And ultimately, to become a better version of yourself.
And then, just as the trial reaches its climax,
What happens?
Alice grows to an enormous size.
Yeah.
She's towering over everyone. Everything disappears.
Just like that.
She's back on the riverbank, waking up from her dream.
It's so abrupt, that shift back to reality.
Makes you wonder, was it all just a dream?
Or did her experiences in Wonderland change her forever?
Yeah, it's like you wake up and you're not sure what's real anymore.
You're left with that lingering feeling like, what did I just experience?
And did any of it matter?
But even if it was a dream, Alice clearly learned something.
Oh, and absolutely. She's changed. You can see it.
She's more confident, more outspoken.
And she's not afraid to question things.
Exactly. That's the power of imagination. It can transform us.
You know, I always felt bad for the Mock Turtle.
Oh, yeah, he's a sad one.
He seemed so lost in the past, longing for those school days.
Reeling and writhing, all those crazy lessons.
It's like he represents that feeling of nostalgia we all get.
That yearning for simpler times.
When things made sense.
But he's a mock turtle, an imitation.
Right, like even our memories can be distorted.
They change over time, colored by our present experiences.
It's like Carol is saying, don't cling to the past too tightly.
Keep moving forward. Embrace the present.
But it's not all sadness with the Mock Turtle, right?
No, definitely not. Remember the lobster quadrille?
Oh yeah, that crazy dance.
With the griffin, those nonsensical instructions.
And the song about the whiting.
Is the boots and shoes.
It's pure silliness.
But I think Carol is commenting on traditions here.
Those rituals we follow without thinking.
The lobster quadrille is a celebration of breaking free.
Letting go of logic, embracing the nonsensical.
It's a reminder to not take ourselves too seriously.
You know, that's a good takeaway from Alice in general.
What do you mean?
It's all about letting imagination transform you.
To see the world differently.
To challenge what you believe, open yourself to new things.
I think that's what makes the story so timeless.
It's about finding the extraordinary in the ordinary.
The magical in the mundane.
So what can we take away from Alice's journey?
What do you think?
For me, it's about holding on to that sense of wonder.
That childlike curiosity.
That makes you want to explore, ask questions.
I think that's the most important thing we can do.
Don't be afraid to question things.
To challenge what, explore new ideas.
Embrace the unknown, the unexpected, the impossible.
Because that's where true growth happens.
It's where we really learn and discover who we are.
So, as we wrap up our deep dive into Wonderland,
I want to ask you, which character stuck with you?
who resonated the most?
Was it Alice? With her courage and curiosity?
Or maybe the Mad Hatter with his nonsensical wit?
Or the Cheshire Cat with his mysterious wisdom?
Think about why that character stood out to you.
What does it say about you, about your own journey?
It's a question worth pondering.
Thanks for joining us on this adventure down the rabbit hole.
We hope you enjoyed exploring Wonderland with us,
Keep searching for those moments of wonder and curiosity.
because the world is full of them, just waiting to be discovered.